Don't do it, Elliot! Don't jump! Hey everybody, welcome back to more Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 2. I'm SlayerMathis, and last time, we continued our exploration through Bereahard, including viewing what I believe to be the only voiced normal bonding event with Elisa. And this time, we'll be continuing our exploration through Bereahard, starting with Elliot's bonding events, that we are not actually going to be viewing, we're just going to be talking about it. For his bonding event, it's very simple, just to help get minds off things. They go over to Sorcière, the restaurant, and decide to just have a meal there. They end up listening to the pianist there, and Elliot talks about how music was a huge part of his life growing up. And he says that music has the power to inspire and help people move on. He then proceeds to play the piano afterwards. Elliot's are pretty simple. It's kind of disappointing how simple they are, though. How is Princess Alfin involved in all this? Mr. Stevens claims she was being kept safe in Heimdall. Lord Rufus refuses to make a move despite the peril we face, too. I'd hate to make assumptions, but, well, something seems off here. The great Bereahard overtaken by those reformist creatures. How dare they? How dare they? If only Lord Rufus were here, he would eradicate them for us. Yeah, Bereahard's not too happy about this. Seeing Bereahard taken over by the reformers certainly isn't something I expected to see within my lifetime. This is some sort of strange dream, as it feels far too surreal. Yesterday was truly something else, but myself and my husband were terrified. We never expected the Duke and Berea would be arrested either. What does this mean for Bereahard? Terrifying indeed. Seeing so many tanks and armored cars in town almost made my heart stop. Why must we get swept up in all of this when it's a man's job to deal with war? Oh, I'm so fraught with worry I can hardly focus on anything. It seems like we'll be returning home in a timely manner today. Oh, what a relief. I felt worried when she mentioned she was going out. These are dangerous times, after all. Hi, Celine. Well, I guess everything worked out for the best back there. The Society's plans are still a big, scary blank right now. I'm trying not to think about it. The important thing is we brought a little more peace to Bereahard. So if the Duke and Skrull show some signs of repentance. Speaking of which, I was surprised at the way you say that, terrorist. You're probably the first person ever to use their knight like that. There's something impressed about you, Reem. Come again? You heard nothing. The cat's being a tsundere, like all cats are. Yes, it was absolutely terrifying. We could hear the battle taking place even in here. I don't think we could have asked for a bigger reminder that our country's at war. As for Machias, we are going to be viewing his event in just a second, though. I never would have expected the Duke to fall from power. Of course, what he did to Kerry was beyond horrific, so perhaps he had to come. The better question now is, what will become of the taxes? That's my main concern. Eustace's recent actions have you think. My father stepped from the path of righteousness. Would I be able to do the same thing Eustace did? You? I don't even want to think about it. It could have been easy for him, of course. It'd take a lot of strength to stand up to your father like that. But I'm sure having our support is helping him through. Helping him make it through. You might not say, but I think he appreciates us being here. You might be right. Aside from our support helping him, so full of him that he's bound to recover once his ego reinflates itself. Now on that note, I have shopping to do. I don't want to show too much compassion, would we, Machias? What are you here to buy anyway? Flowers for some special occasion? That's one way to put it. Now, while you're here, mind helping me choose. I think it'd make him happier if you did. Together, Reem and Machias made their choice and went to the North Croydon Highway. This is our bridge, right? There's a reason you brought that bouquet, though, Machias. It's my way of paying my respects. The lake flows towards Celtic, so I guess here will do. It's for the market manager, isn't it? Well, yes. I owe him a lot, after all. It's because of him that we were able to avoid being noticed by the provincial army during our time in Celtic. I don't think Class 7 ever would have been reunited if it weren't for his help. It's frustrating, knowing that we'll never be able to pay him back. This is the least I can do for him. Machias. It's the anniversary of my cousin's death the other day, too, but I wasn't able to visit her grave. I couldn't with how things are at the moment, but it's the least I can do for her, too. What was it? What exactly are you planning on doing with the bouquet? Guys told me in Norway of paying respects to the dead that I wanted to try. They say that by sending a bouquet down a river, your feelings will reach those that have departed. This is my way of swearing an oath to both of them. That will make it through this war, no matter what. I'll work toward turning Ereboni into a country where the innocent have no need to suffer anymore. If only. Changing an entire country sounds impossible, but you know what, Machias? part of me feels like we could pull it off. We can make it through this. There's no limit to what we can do, to what we can change. You really think so? Glad you feel the same as I do. Your cousin and the market manager are watching over us too, so let's make sure not to disappoint them. I wouldn't dream of it. Not for you two. Class 7 by my side, I'll make sure to fulfill this vow I've given. Rain and Maki stood in respectful silence as they watched the bouquet float into the distance. Once it was completely out of view, they walked back to Berea. Again, very simple, but simple isn't a bad thing with these bonding events. And with that, we go and view Marcus, an oath he made, an offering of flowers to the souls of Otto and his cousin. Swore an oath to make it through the war. Can't let the people of Keldic's countless sacrifices go to waste. So whatever it takes, let's change this nation and give it a brighter future. Right. Just made me realize that I forgot to talk to Gaius afterwards. So many armored cars sped through town, and then we heard cannon firing gunshots from the highway. I can't believe this would happen so close to town. Why can't this war just end already? I still can't believe all this is really happening. First we were told the Noble Alliance had the advantage, then Berea was pulled into the war, and now the Imperial Army has stationed their troops here. They're just asking for trouble. We go upstairs in the Galleria. Both my lady and the rest of the household are beside themselves with worry at the moment. Master's still away too, so I should return home early for their sake. So a number of things I wanted to purchase, but alas. Heard about what Duke Alboret did to Celtic. It's hardly an action one can condone, in my opinion. I believe most others feel the same. He's probably receiving his just deserts now. Christie's full of Kreutz's most recognized stores, so we can't afford to close shop regardless of the circumstances. We have our pride, you know. I do admit I'm being unclear on what we should do from here on out. The reason we're Kreutz's most recognized gallery is because we serve its nobles, after all. And Milliam's bonding event we will not be viewing. She wants to make an apple tart, and Milliam is acting like Milliam when she's cooking. It sounds very obvious, but you already know. Rean basically has to babysit her to make sure she doesn't ruin everything. And yeah. And the reason that Milliam decided to do some cooking, or as I believe Rean puts it, wanted to create something rather than destroying something, is because Milliam actually felt sad. If you remember our last bonding event with her, she has never cried, she doesn't really know what it's like to be sad, and so it's kind of one of her first experiences dealing with it. The traveling priest's words live on with me to this day. We can't do much alone, but that should never stop us from trying. If for no other reason, to prevent what happened in Celtic from ever happening again. Just wanted to do that. So yeah, Milliam's, I actually really do like that one, but we don't really, I mean, okay, we had room for it, but I wanted to do Elisa's because it's fully voiced. And also just because I like the ship between Rean and Elisa. Pretty simple. If we go out this a ways, you can see Laura, and when approaching her, I wonder why Laura's going up to the canyon alone. She can handle herself just fine, but still. We will not be viewing that one, though. We made the point to station the bare minimum of soldiers here, so as not to upset the citizens too much. And if you want to help in that front, we'd like you to report any and all happenings to us if possible. I'm sure you'll all have a better grasp of what's happening in town than we will. Laura's bonding event. She swims outside in the river like a lunatic, because it's the day after Christmas. She is used to the cold, but it still is a little bit chilly, and for her, swimming has always been a great way for her to get her mind off of things. Obviously, Legram right next to a lake, pretty easy way to get to swimming. And while she can't condone the Duke's actions, she does wonder if that's just something that any noble would have considered doing. I mean, he was pretty much backed into a corner. He needed to make a name for himself. So, yeah, she can't condone it, but she understands. I don't know if it's quite right to say she understands the mindset that went into it, but yeah. Toa's, we will be viewing. Toa, something wrong? Oh, no, it's nothing. Just thinking about Berea finally being freed from the Duke's clutches and ended up spaced out. And when you finish something you're really nervous about and all the exhaustion washes over you at once, that's what I'm going through. But don't worry about me, I'll be back on the ship by the time everyone else is. The more she tells me not to worry, the more worried I get. What if she needs to talk to someone? Mind if I stay with you for a while? There's a really nice breeze here, so I figured it might be a good spot to relax. Oh, sure, go ahead. I don't want to sound pushy here, but, well, if you have something on your mind, Toa, I'm more than willing to listen. Huh? I realize I might not be able to offer any real help, but you've done so much for everyone and me personally, both at Thor's and on the Courageous. That's why I want to do whatever I can for you in return. That's really sweet of you, Rean. Thanks. To tell the truth, I'm not really sure if I'm the best fit to be the Courageous captain anymore. Part of your wishes I declined back when Viscount Arcite asked me. Can I ask why? Well, we managed to set Berea free and we have Duke Gaborea arrested, right? But when you think about it, that won't do much to ease the pain for those in Celtic. It won't bring back those that we've lost either. And it's not just that. Think back to when Fiona was taking hostage or what happened with Angie. In the end, I just stood there uselessly, waiting for you guys to solve everything. All while having the Courageous at our disposal too. That's why I can't help but wonder what a more capable captain would have been able to accomplish. Have you been bottling this stuff up all this time? Sorry for unloading on you. I promised I'd be a much stronger person, yet here I am, fighting over every little thing. I'm not really suited to be your captain at all, am I? Phew. Thanks for getting it back for me, but still, especially when I said your worries couldn't be further from the truth. I can't think of a single person more suited to be our captain than you. But Rean, in the end, we're still students. We don't have the kind of experience that Prince Oliver and Viscount Arcite do. There's no way anyone expects you to be able to do what they can. But despite that, you took it upon yourself to accept such a crucial position in Viscount Arcite's place, doing everything you can to fulfill that role, even when you're just a student. Seeing you work like that is what's inspired all of us, you know. We wouldn't be the same team without you. It's not true. Huh? I'm certain that everything we've done so far is bringing us one step closer to taking back our school. Accomplishing that will be our biggest challenge yet, though. And that's exactly why we need you. Having you alongside us is the greatest motivation we could ever ask for. Of course, we have no intention of letting this be one-sided. We'll be there for you as much as you are for us. You mean it, Rean? Boy, you're awfully convincing, huh? You're right. We should be using our worries as a means to better ourselves, shouldn't we? Such a dummy for forgetting something as simple as that. Hey, we all have our moments. It won't be long now until we can finally take back Thor's. We're gonna go all out and make it a reality, right? Right. And so we get a bounty event with Toa done, and her notebook is also upgraded. She was feeling inadequate as the ship's captain, but was cheered up and inspired by Rean's encouraging words. And don't forget to talk to her, Dad. Thanks for the talk, Rean. I might not be much of a captain yet, but I'll keep working at it. The better I get, the sooner we can take back our academy. That is the hope, at least. We only have one place left to go, and that is the Berea Airport. Yes, it is bad now. All of the airships are finally back in operation. Of course, there's still a ton of issues that remain. Empire citizens have yet to fully comprehend the situation here in Berea at the moment, for one. And don't forget the recent hijacking that still needs to be addressed. It'll be a while yet before things return to normal. Unless there's been a second hijacking, we've definitely addressed that. So I don't know what you're talking about. Alfin, we will go and talk to you in just a second. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm afraid I've told you all I know. It's been announced there's no danger in the city itself, at least, so please don't concern yourselves. Duke Gaborea's been arrested? How the devil did that happen? I haven't a clue what's been happening here while I've been away. Perhaps I should go and ask Baron Carradine. Times like this, friends are the ones you can count on most. Oh dear, this like we came at a bad time. What should we do? Oh, I do hope something works out. What happened here? I'm so bored! He just went through like 5 different voices in the span of 2 lines. You're the greatest maintenance to us. This has always been especially good to me. I can only hope this will allow me to go some way to returning the favor. And of course, as the last possible bonding event, and us having 1 bonding event left, and me also saying that we'll be talking to Alfin, we're going to be talking to Alfin. It seemed they're about to hold mass over the cathedral. I'm thinking of seeing it in kind of incognito, but something the matter? It's nothing, just pretend I didn't say anything. Well, try to get some rest, Rean. You must be exhausted. you mind if I join you, Your Highness? I feel much more at ease if I at least escorted you to the cathedral. Just a precaution, of course. Would you, Reen? Thank you so much for your concern. Shall I be off then? Seeing Berard's cathedral up close is always breathtaking. You've been to Berard before, haven't you? That's right, I have a number of noble acquaintances here even. In which today's mass seems to have attracted more of them than usual. It's like it's intended as an occasion to mourn the losses suffered by Kelly. Just about the people I saw going, it'd probably be a fairly large event. So it seems. I plan to attend as well, to offer my prayers to the market manager, but... No, it's nothing. Let's go inside, Reen. So, Reen and Princess Alfin entered the cathedral to attend the mass currently being held. Of course, they were careful to sit behind the majority of attendees to avoid standing out. However, during the sermon... I'm sure you've all heard by now of the terrible tragedy that took place in Celtic recently. In light of this, let us offer up our prayers for the people there. May Adios be with them all. Rest in peace, Arno. What's going to happen to us from here on out? I can't believe that you arrested Duke Alberea, not to mention the fact that we've been removed from the Noble Alliance's jurisdiction. But why, though? I see no reason to accept the Imperial Army when our own army is intact. Duke Alberea certainly has made a mock of things this time. Is people for real? Are we supposed to be mourning the people for the Celtic? There's a time and a place for self-pity, and it sure as hell is it now. Besides, surely Celtic was partly to blame for what happened too, no? Heard all about the belligerent attitude of Duke Alberea, yet he was arrested for simply teaching them a lesson. Disgraceful, I know. The beloved Empire certainly has been on the decline these past couple of years. Can't take much more of this. Just who in the world do people think you are? Huh? Who dares to raise their voice during Holy Mass? Wait, I know that face. Princess Alfin? How could you make light of what happened in Celtic? Do you genuinely believe it's none of your concern that Celtic deserved its fate? Is this how you treat your fellow Erebonians? Don't you realize that by putting aside such social labels, this tragedy could have been prevented? Your Highness, but maybe I'm not one to talk. I may have shared the same sentiments as all of you had. I continued to live my cozy life in Heimdall. I would have done little other than pity them without making an attempt to truly understand the gravity of the matter. In the end, it would have been just another event on the long list of things to eventually forget. But please, I beg of you, please realize that whether they are a noble or a commoner, every life matters. The people who suffered in Celtic, who lost their lives because of this war, are no less important than any of us. Each and every one of them lived a life of their own, and had a future ahead of them until it was ripped away. Your Highness. Your Highness. Wait. So please, I ask anyone in disagreement with the Duke's arrest, go see South Celtic for themselves. If that's not enough to convince you his arrest was the right thing to do, then by all means, bring your complaints to me. I swear on the Arnor household that I will listen to every single one of you in earnest. After Princess Alfin's speech, they left the cathedral that had turned deathly quiet. From there, Reen escorted her back to the airport. The entire way, she struggled to hold back her tears. Thank you, Reen. I've gotten a hold of myself now. Well, how embarrassing is it to act out like that during Holy Mass? I'm sure my brother would have been able to handle that situation much better. Prince Oliver would have handled that in his own way, sure. That doesn't make your actions any less worthy of respect, however. You don't think it was too much? I mean it when I said that speech hit very close to home. So I'm sure some of the nobles there must have been impacted the same way. If anything, I'd say you've made me feel more proud to be a member of the Empire than ever before. Did I? I'm sure when this war comes to an end, your words will be able to reach even more people too. Until then, all you can do is keep fighting. Thank you, Reen. Hearing you say that is such a relief. Happy to help, Your Highness. We should just focus on doing what we can for now, okay? Please, don't forget that we're all here to support. Thank you. After Reen escorted Princess Alfin to the Courageous, he headed back to town. And we get up to level 4 with a non-party member. Yeah, it's weird. We'll have another point where we get her as a temporary party. Like, we had her as a party member before, but, you know. But, with us exactly reaching 20 minutes at this point, well, more like probably 1958, because I start talking a few seconds after the recording starts. I think that'll do it for this time, and next time, we will begin the 4th part of our travels through Eastern Erebonia aboard the Courageous. But until then, see you guys later!